Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your match preview. Tottenham versus Chelsea. Big match. Big match. And I'm going to get straight down to the bottom of it, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this has to be an undoubtedly an emphatic. It has to be a massacre. To be honest, it needs to be a massacre. We need to go out there at the 3-point lane. 3-point lane and do our business. We need to absolutely abuse them. We need to harass them. We need to put them out of their misery because that football club, Tottenham Hotspurs, they're in dire trouble right now. Absolute dire trouble. People ask me, don't be so cocky. Don't get too overconfident about this. Why not? Why not? They're a particular team right now. Their fan base have lost all hope on Ange Postecoglu. They're a fan base that is well and truly lost any sort of belief, any trust on Ange Postecoglu. I don't know why, because it's strange. I don't understand their fan base. What are you going to do? Sack another manager? That's all you've been doing. Keep sacking managers and you've done nothing. You've literally done nothing. What do you think sacking another manager is going to do for your football club? You're just going to bring another manager that you're going to end up sacking anyway because you're not going to do anything about it. Your football club, your owners, you're not ambitious. The quicker this football club realizes, Tottenham Hotspurs, that you're a nothing club. Honestly, you're a nothing club. You generate a lot of money, and that's probably what it's all about. It's about generating income, isn't it? Got a very big stadium that holds a whole heap of different other events as well. You make a lot of money out of that. And that's what it's all about. That's what Tottenham is all about. You're not really there to do something in football. You're not. And most of these players have clocked on to that notion. The managers have clocked on to that notion. And the fan base, look, they've had enough. They've had enough. But on top of that, they're not going to do any type of protest either. So it's a lost cause. It's an absolute lost cause. This is what happens to Spurs every time they get a new manager. They look slightly good, and then they come back to their normal form again. And then, the whole cycle continues over and over again. And now for Ange Postecoglu, the cycle is at its end. It's about to just fully collapse and die off. Yeah, some may say, Miz, but they beat the bigger teams. What bigger teams? Man United, they just got beat by Nottingham Forest. They're not a bigger team. Man United's not the same Man United anymore. They're in the mud. It's a shame we didn't beat them. Oh, but they beat City. Everyone is beating City now. Everyone. Okay, Aston Villa. Aston Villa is something that maybe we can give, but even Aston Villa are not looking that great in the Premier League this season. I know last couple of match weeks they've picked up a couple of victories. Sure, no problems. Unai Emery is a good manager. But Aston Villa are not the same Aston Villa they were last couple of seasons in the Premier League. They're also struggling. This is probably the first time Spurs will come up against a top quality opposition in the Premier League. And I believe we're a top quality opposition now. The way we are progressing under Enzo Maresca, the way our trajectory is looking, every game we're doing our homework, every game the manager's got something different. Why shouldn't we be confident? Why? Even when we're not playing well, we're putting away teams like Southampton 5-1. We had a brilliant match against Aston Villa, a very good match against Leicester as well. We're in a bit of a run. Our players look very focused. With player for player, we have a superior team than Spurs. You look at the entire Spurs team. They're all dejected. They're all just lost now. They don't believe in anything. Son is not the same Son anymore. He's slower. Kulusevski is probably a potential threat. Maddison is on and off. Some day good, some day bad. Brennan Johnson is an average player. Timo Werner, below average player. Basuma is not the same Basuma that I once upon a time saw in Brighton and I wanted at Chelsea. And the list goes on. They don't have a defense. A lot of the defenders are all injured. Their manager, Ange Postecoglu, looks like he's a defeated guy. He don't want to be around there. They got done by Fulham 1-1. Then they got absolutely royally done by Bournemouth, where they should have lost that match against Bournemouth by 2-3-4. This is a team that they don't believe. They don't believe anymore. And we need to go there. We need to go to their home ground and show them who the boss is. If we are, honestly, we've gone through a few tests in recent times. Aston Villa was a fair enough test. Southampton also, you can say, I know everyone's pumping Southampton, but complacency could have hit in, but we didn't. Straight after the international break, we beat Leicester as well. So we've gone through some tests, yes, in recent times, and we've come up nicely on top. This, once again, is another test. If we want to be serious in this top four race, you put away teams like Spurs who are in trouble. I wouldn't have this level of chest against the Spurs team if they actually were good. As I said, they look dejected. They look completely lost. They look devoid of any ideas. They probably want the season to already end, and we're not even halfway through the season. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel because what? You sack Ange Postecoglu and then what? You just repeat the process again. These players, they're done mentally. Our players are growing. Chemistry is building. Mentality building. Cucurella, strong. Caicedo, strong. Levi Colwell, strong. Enzo Fernandez, building. Up front, Jackson. All of these players, they should be licking their lips. Palmer, Neto. All of these players should be licking. Even if Madueke gets an opportunity, should be licking his lips. Looking at that chicken logo, should be thinking about fried chicken, man. Honestly. For me, this needs to be an emphatic victory. It needs to be, look, first of all, 3 points, very important. And then after that, if we can get an emphatic victory, let's do it. But that's what it needs to be. It needs to be an emphatic victory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to my lineup. This is how I would set up on the ball. So we have to distinguish between on the ball and off the ball, how we all set up. On the ball, this is how we're going to set up. Robert Sanchez is the number one goalkeeper for Chelsea Football Club, whether we like it or not. Enzo Maresca said it post-match against Southampton that Robert Sanchez will start against Spurs and then 10 other players will follow. So we already know Robert Sanchez is starting. In the LCB position, we'll go with Cucurella. He'll play in the LCB position. In the middle, it'll be Levi Colwell. On the right side, we'll play with Benoit. Benoit Badiashile, in recent times when he started, bar the Conference League match, he's been actually okay. And this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. Whilst Wesley Fofana is injured, this is your opportunity to show why you are deemed by some parts of our fan base a very good defender. It's time for you to showcase that. In the middle, Lavia, Caicedo. Up front, I am actually going with Madueke. I think this match is well set for Madueke, to be honest. His pace, his ability to track back, his hard-working attitude, and maybe, just maybe, the public criticism directed towards him from the manager Enzo Maresca just might wake him up. And look, I've always said, his skill set, he's a talented player. It's just we need to see a little bit more from him because he can give more. So who knows, maybe that public criticism could push him to do really well in this game. Spurs only know how to play one way, which is high line. They will never change. Ange Postecoglu has said, by now you should know, I've been here for 18 months, that I don't change. They're going to keep coming forward and trying to press us, have a high line. And of course, they're the home team. They'll try and do this, and we should be able to pick them off. Without pace and power, we should be able to pick them off. On the left side, Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto should be looking at this fixture and going, man, I need to blitz them. On the right side, Enzo Fernandez. Either or, it doesn't really matter. I'll have Cole Palmer on this side. So you can utilize. And they're going to chop and change anyway. It doesn't really matter left side or right side. But on the ball, ladies and gentlemen, this is my team. Sanchez, Cucurella, Colwell, Buddy Shield, Levi, Colwell, Buddy Shield, Romeo Lavia, Caicedo, Madueke, Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Neto, and Jackson. That's on the ball. And now we will do off the ball. Generally, we set up on a 4-4-2. But you have to also understand, ladies and gentlemen, if we camp on their half, it's not going to look like 4-4-2. But if we generally drop back, this is how it will look like. It will look like a 4-4-2. And essentially, it will be Caicedo dropping into right back position. And this is how it's going to look like off the ball. So you've got Caicedo as the right back, Buddy Shield in the middle with Colwell, Cucurella left back, Sanchez goalkeeper, Madueke will definitely work hard to help out Caicedo on the right side, Lavia and Fernandez in the middle. They've done a fantastic job against Aston Villa, so we continue in that manner. Neto on the left side, Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer. I know Madueke didn't play against Aston Villa, and Neto played on that side, and Neto would definitely help out Caicedo, but in this game, I'm actually having Madueke. Look, I don't mind. It could very well be Neto where Madueke is, and perhaps on the left side, it might actually be João Felix. Who knows? We shall see exactly. Or even Jadon Sancho. But I think the pace does really matter for me. So that is my team, ladies and gentlemen, on and off the ball. I'm going with the score prediction of 3-4-0. I'm not even lying. 3 or 4-0. And we are probably going to sack Ange Postecoglu. I think that's what's going to happen. We give them a pumping like that. I think Ange Postecoglu gets sacked. They get themselves another manager. They go through the whole process again, and they'll end up sacking that manager too. And the merry-go-round for Spurs continues, and they'll end up being maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, at best Europa League team. And that's about it for Spurs. That's it. That's their ambition. That really is their ambition. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. I'm looking for an emphatic victory, and I'm looking at us closing the gap down a little bit towards Liverpool. Not saying we're in a title race or anything, but if we get the chance to close things down, why not? Liverpool had their game postponed due to bad weather. They've got a game in hand, no problems. But anything to close that gap down, no problems. Arsenal try and make a little bit gap from them as well if we can. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Hope you've enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I see you guys for the watch along. Until then, take care. See ya.